Let's go to the Big Ten. Ohio State with another. Is this a challenge? What would you call this, Tom? I'll just shut up and let you go. Ohio State and Illinois. Is this a challenge at all? Does Illinois bounce back again after a brutal loss earlier, a win against USC, which was impressive, which their offense looked really good. But thoughts here?
Yeah, they got smoked by Indiana earlier on this season. What was that, 63-10? It was horrible. Ohio State at Illinois. Ohio State's favored by 14.5. Over under is 49.5. Kind of similar to the situation I was just talking about with Oklahoma and Texas in the trenches. I hate this matchup for Illinois' offensive line against Ohio State's defensive line. And just in general, what Matt Patricia has been able to do, what Ryan Day has been able to do overseeing this program, reloading from all the pieces that they lost last year. This is a really good Ohio State defense. And the way that Matt Patricia has picked up where Jim Knowles left off in terms of scheme, he can really, really mess with quarterbacks' heads. Luke Altmaier, I think we've talked about it a bunch on this show. The running game is just not there, not because of a lack of talent with ball carriers. It's the offensive line has really struggled. They've struggled in pass protection as well. So I hate this matchup for Illinois in that respect. Luke Altmaier is playing probably the best college football of his career, and he's been in the same system now for 3 years, so it's benefited him. But his pass catchers, the guys that can help him out, aren't as talented as they were last year. I think Ohio State is not even clicking on all cylinders, which is the scary thing. Offensively, they have slowly taken the training wheels off of Julian Sayin, but they're still limiting the number of attempts that he makes. His completion percentage is around 80%. They're making it very easy on him. We knew what they had in Jeremiah Smith. We had a pretty good feeling of what Carnell Tate was going to be in the absence of Emeka Egbuka, and he has impressed. They have playmakers. They have depth along the offensive line. I don't think Ohio State has even fully realized its final form in this college football season. So I just don't like this matchup for Illinois. And again, just a handful of weeks ago, they lost a bunch of defensive backs in the game against Indiana. They're still licking their wounds in a lot of ways. I think this will be a game for maybe a quarter and a half. And then I think Ohio State takes away.
Let me ask you, at this point, seeing what Ohio State's defense has done, I mean, they're number one in the country in scoring. And possibly it's because of they just have the best defense. It could be also because they haven't faced off against a high tempo scoring offense. But then again, they also shut down Washington, which is really important. Is anybody going to score more than 20 on them this year? Is that the surprise at this point if somebody's able to hang three scores?
I think honestly, yes. I do really think that's a surprise. Like, you probably won't see that until the Big Ten championship game. And even still, I could maybe look at the Michigan game at the end of the season. If Michigan jumps out early and is able to play with a lead, we know that's what Michigan's strength is in general. But looking at the rest of their schedule, at Illinois, at Wisconsin versus Penn State, who, as a Penn State follower and fan and someone who covers the team, I have no idea which version of Penn State you're going to get week to week. At Purdue versus UCLA versus Rutgers, and then at Michigan to end the season. Yeah, I just think this is a very easy path for Ohio State. Not going to be without its challenges, of course. And again, Julian Sayin is still learning as this thing is going, but credit to brand new offensive coordinator Brian Hartline for all of the changes that this Ohio State team has seen through the offseason to now. They picked up right where they left off, and I'll pose the question to you, Cole and TJ. Is this right now a better team than what won the national championship last year?
I'll get right back to our video, but first, I do want to tell you about Sleeper's brand new promotion. It's for October only, so do not wait on this. If you've been waiting to deposit on the Sleeper app, but you're cheap, or you just don't want to spend money, or whatever your excuse is, you just don't believe us about the match, you don't even need to make a deposit now. Use our code CFA and you get a free $20 entry on the Sleeper app. You heard me right. Free $20 entry on the Sleeper app if you use our code CFA. The link is in the description. If you do deposit, there's still a 100% match up to $100, but you do not want to miss this promo. It's just for October. Go get it done now. Come play the More or Less game with us on the Power 2 live every Wednesday at noon. And go get your free $20 entry. Thanks to Sleeper for their support. Now back to the video. I don't think they're as hot as they were then, but better team could be a an answer, right? Like I don't think they don't look as dominant is maybe the best way to say
Not
that.
yet, but
Right,
that's
but
what scare people.
they also didn't look this dominant on October 8th of 2024, right? So there's a lot of time to get there. I mean, I've seen people talk about, I mean, obviously the playoff is a completely different season once you turn the calendar into December. So TBD, but it certainly could get there. Like right now, like this team on October 8th versus the team that played on January 20th, I would take the team that played on January 20th.
Sure.
But again, the time that they have to get there, and let's be fair, they don't even need to get there. They just need to, get somewhere between where they are now and there.
Now, we talked about this this past weekend. I still don't think this is a team that's better than what Miami's fielding right now. I think Miami is still improving week to week, but looks like the more well-rounded team at the moment. Yeah. Season. But this path for Ohio State is very friendly. So
again, they feel like that the offense right now has everything clicking at the right time. Julian Saying is very blessed to have the weapons that he does, but he's also improved. There's some things that he's definitely going to work on. That comes with time, and I don't think many people would be upset to say at this point he hasn't been the elite of the elite. Doesn't mean he won't get there. I mean, what are we in? 5 games into his tenure, and he hasn't had a loss and hasn't been a reason why a team loses a football game either. So got to feel good about that. Running back room is really good. There's a lot of things to like about Ohio State. I mean, we've discussed this multiple times. If you want to put Ohio State at number 1, I'm not going to argue with you. I get the reasoning behind it because they're the national champions and they're a team that right now feels like it hasn't shown you enough to drop them. It's also okay to say if you want to put them at number 2 because Miami has a better resume, but it's another game. It's a game to where you're playing in Champaign. So it's something to where we watched USC try to go in there and they couldn't get the job done. In Ohio State, you go in there and you obliterate the Illini. It's very hard to make a case that you are not the most complete team in college football. And I will say, if there is one team right now that I feel is not going to go lose a game this year, this may be the one. Mm-hmm. It may end up being them, and they're undefeated all the way until we get to the college football playoff. And even still, undefeated afterwards, very big possibility.
The team that's able to beat Ohio State defensively is going to have to, 1, somehow limit their pass catchers, which good luck with that. And 2, you're going to have to make Julian Sayin think just a second longer than he's used to at this point in time, because he's has some pretty friendly situations. I don't know at this point in time what defense is out there in the upper echelon of college football from a secondary standpoint and then also a defensive play caller standpoint that can really mess with them at this point in time. I think it's possible teams like Oregon and Miami could potentially do that somewhere down the road. But outside of that, Bama is somebody that jumps to mind, but still it's a toss-up, and more often than not, you're leaning towards the Buckeyes.
I think Ohio State wins this by 14 plus. 35. I'll go 35-21.
I've pissed off enough Illini fans in the past, but I think even you can agree. This is not one of those games to where you're saying, oh, we lose and we're just the worst team. It's that Ohio State's just a better team. Doesn't make you a terrible team, just makes Ohio State, I think, more complete. And so I think that's going to be the case. I'll go a little bit nicer. I'll go 31-20. I think that you will see kind of the foot get off the gas a little bit for the offense for Ohio State. Still a double-digit win, and that's something very impressive to say about a team that goes on the road and is able to show the exact same gusto that they do when they're at home.
Give me Ohio State 49-17.
Wow.
Strong. And again, like Julian Sayin is not going to throw for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns in this game. Or you might get the touchdowns, but like, you know what I mean? Like it's not Julian Sayin somehow. And he's not a bad quarterback. He's just developing, and they've done a really nice job of limiting his role in the offense. He's not had to do a whole lot, but the ability to score in this game, potentially from all 3 phases, I like for Ohio State.